Before prophets walked the earth, before nations rose and fell, there was one man who stood alone against a world of idols. From the heart of Mesopotamia, his voice defied kings, his faith challenged fire itself. This is the beginning of a legacy, a story of awakening, courage, and divine purpose. Before we begin this journey into the ancient world, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more epic historical and faith-based stories. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new episode. Now sit back, open your heart, and let's step into the past. The Legacy of Faith, Abraham, Part 1. The Calling. Let the story begin. The city of Ur slept beneath the desert moon, its towers rising like shadows carved from clay and pride. Fires burned before the idols, gods of stone and gold, their faces fixed, their hands lifeless. The priests whispered their chants, their voices echoing through halls thick with incense and deceit. And among them walked Abraham, son of Azar, his eyes bright with thought, his heart restless beneath the veil of night. He had watched his father shape idols from stone, hands covered in dust, crafting faces that could not see. He had seen men bow before them, whispering prayers into silence. And in his heart, a storm was forming, not of anger, but of awakening. One evening, when the air hung heavy and still, he stepped out of the city and walked into the plain beyond the walls. The stars spread above him like 1,000 eyes watching from eternity. He raised his gaze to them and spoke softly. "These are mighty lights. Perhaps one of them is my Lord." A bright star flared across the sky, glimmering with cold beauty. He watched it, wondering, until its light faded into the night. Then he whispered, "I love not those that set." He walked on until the moon rose, round and silver, bathing the desert in pale fire. Its light touched the sand like the breath of a ghost. "This one," he said, "this one is greater." But when dawn came, the moon too vanished from the heavens. And Abraham bowed his head and murmured, "If my Lord had not guided me, I would surely be among those who go astray." Then the sun rose, fierce, golden, blinding. Its light burned across the plain, swallowing shadow and chill alike. "This is mightier still," Abraham said. "This must be my Lord." But as evening fell and the sun sank behind the mountains, darkness returned. The desert grew cold again, and silence filled his heart. Then understanding came to him, like a whisper from beyond time itself. "I turn my face to him who created the heavens and the earth, pure and upright, and I am not of those who worship falsehood." And in that moment, the first flame of faith was kindled in the heart of Abraham. The next day, he returned to the city. The people were gathering in the square, merchants shouting, priests chanting, smoke rising from altars. He walked among them, watching their devotion to the lifeless. Children bowed to statues. Old men wept before carved stone. He approached the largest idol, towering above the rest, its eyes painted with gold dust. He looked up and said, loud enough for all to hear, "Do you not see that these gods can neither harm you nor help you?" A priest turned, scowling. "Abraham, speak not such blasphemy. These are the gods of our fathers, the keepers of our fate." Abraham's voice was calm but unyielding. "You worship what you have carved with your own hands, while it is God who created you and the stone you worship." The crowd murmured, some in anger, some in fear. But Abraham walked away, his face set with resolve. That night, he stood in his father's workshop. The flicker of lamplight danced across rows of idols, tall, small, broken, perfect. He touched one, feeling the cold stone beneath his fingers. "Father," he said quietly, Why do you serve what cannot speak?" Azar paused, his chisel still in hand. "My son, these are the gods of our people. They bless us, they protect us. It has always been so." "If they bless," Abraham said, "then call upon them now to speak." His father sighed, setting the chisel down. "You are young and full of dreams. One day you will understand." But Abraham did not reply. He turned away, his heart heavy with sorrow and certainty. Days passed. His people grew weary of his questions. They mocked him, avoided him, whispered his name as though it carried a curse. Then came the festival, the day when the people left their city to celebrate in the fields. They invited Abraham to join them. "Come," they said, "and honor the gods." He smiled faintly. "I shall remain behind." When the city emptied, Abraham walked into the great temple. The air was still. The idols stood in rows, cold, blind, powerless. He looked at them one by one, then lifted an axe from the floor. And with every strike, stone shattered, dust filled the air, and the echoes of falsehood fell. Only the largest idol remained. Abraham hung the axe around its neck and stepped back. Then he left the temple in silence. When the people returned, their cries filled the city. They rushed into the temple, gasping at the ruin. "Who has done this to our gods?" they shouted. "He must be among the wrongdoers." A voice rose from the crowd. "We heard a young man speak against them, one called Abraham. They seized him and brought him before the king, Nimrod, lord of the land, a man swollen with pride. The king's throne was high, his crown heavy with gold. He looked down at Abraham and said, 'Is it you who has done this to our gods, O Abraham?' Abraham raised his eyes. 'Nay, it was the great one among them who did it. Ask them if they can speak.' The crowd fell silent. Then anger swept over them like fire. 'You know well they do not speak.' Abraham's voice was steady, his words sharp as thunder. 'Then why do you worship what cannot speak, what cannot protect itself? Will you not understand?' The king's face darkened. 'You dare mock the gods and the throne alike. Who is this Lord you speak of?' Abraham replied, 'My Lord is he who gives life and causes death.' Nimrod smiled coldly. 'I too give life and death. Behold,' he motioned toward two prisoners. 'This one I will kill, and this one I will spare.' Abraham looked upon him with calm disdain. 'Indeed, you may kill or spare. But my Lord brings the sun from the east. Then bring it from the west, if you are true.' The hall fell silent. The king's lips trembled, and for the first time, he could not answer. He turned away, waving his hand in fury. 'Cast him into the fire.' They built a pyre the size of a mountain. The flames roared into the sky like the wrath of the earth itself. The people stood back, trembling from the heat, watching as the soldiers bound Abraham. He lifted his eyes to heaven and whispered, 'Sufficient for me is God, and he is the best disposer of affairs.' Then they hurled him into the flames. But the fire that was meant to destroy became peace. The flames bowed to their creator, and a voice filled the air, a voice heard by angels and winds alike. 'O fire, be coolness and safety upon Abraham.' The people watched in terror as the fire dimmed. Smoke cleared, and there he stood, unharmed, his robe untouched, the light of faith glowing upon him. The crowd fell silent. Even the king stepped back, his face pale. And in that moment, truth triumphed, not by sword or word, but by faith. That night, Abraham walked again into the desert. The stars glimmered above, and the wind carried the scent of freedom. Behind him lay the city that would no longer listen. Before him stretched the path that would change nations. He whispered, 'My Lord, guide me to the land you will show me, and grant me from my offspring those who believe.' And so began the journey of a man who would father nations, challenge kings, and carry the torch of faith through every age. End of part 1. The calling of Abraham. And that was just the beginning. The fire couldn't burn him, but destiny was only starting to unfold. Join us in the next chapter of this journey. The Legacy of Faith, Abraham, Part 2, The Journey and the Promise. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the story continues in the next part.